Have you got an axe but no sheath and no pattern? Today I'm going to attempt to make one from scratch, bring you along on the journey with me, and let's see what we learn in the process. In this video you'll learn how you can size your sheath without a pattern, custom for your axe, what type of leather is best to use and why, and different ways to fasten it securely. So I recently picked up this axe for my camping trip and it didn't come with a sheath, so I wanted to make my own custom leather axe sheath. And every axe varies, so instead of searching online for a pattern, I'm going to try and make one myself today. I'm going to use the axe blade itself as a template, and it can be difficult to work out the spacing because you want a nice tight fit, but you want to be able to get it off easily. So I'm going to give you some tips that help me along the way.
Okay, let's jump into it. So this is going to work essentially for any kind of axe head that you've got. For me, it's quite a simple traditional axe shape, and what I'm going to do is use the card to make the pattern. So firstly, that starts with drawing the outline of the axe onto the card. Now you can see that the axe width actually varies as you get closer to the hilt. So this is going to be challenging. So what I'm going to do first is actually add on about 1/2 inch or 12 millimeters, something in that range. And what that will do is allow me to have a little bit extra leather on either side to add that 3D nature that I need the axe sheath to be. And more on that later. So let's start this out. Let's use these little bulldog clips. These work really nicely to piece it together so we can move to the next phase.
Now I'm no expert, but I'm going to try this out and share what I learned along the way with you. If you have any better suggestions, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. So today I'm going to be using a veg tan. This is going to be tougher, it's going to be firmer, but it's actually going to patina and turn this beautiful caramel color after several years. I'm going to do a deep dive video into what patina actually is and what the leather science behind it is. This belt is about 1.5 years old and it's much more softer, it's more supple, it's got this amazing color to it, and it's just aged as it's been used every single day, and it'll continue to do that for decades. Now I'd advise against using chrome tan because it's softer, it's more supple. I don't think it'll age as well, especially because the axe is going to be used outside a lot of the time. And I've also read that chromium salts can cause metals to rust over time. Now I don't know much about that, so I'll do some research and report back in the future. But really, this is just personal preference. You can use whatever you like.
Now we've got our pattern, but we've got to start with a sharp blade. So link in the bio or up on the screen now to check out my ultimate honing guide that will get you at least 5 times longer life out of your blades. So I'm just going to trace out the shape onto my leather using an awl and then proceed to cut it all out. Now a sharp blade is so key here because it will allow you to get really nice smooth cuts, and there's quite a lot of these are curves. I am freehanding them, as you can see. So as I go through this, I'm just gonna jump back to my strop and hone that blade just to make sure it's nice and razor sharp. From that thick axe head down to the flat edge where I'm stitch it is just too much of a variation in thickness. But I came up with an ingenious solution that I'll show you in a minute. It fixed this problem completely.
If you've got any value out of this video so far, please like it and subscribe for new videos coming every other week. Thanks so much, your support really helps me to continue making these videos. So let's have a look at the tools you'll need to follow along at home. So obviously an axe is the first one, then we'll need some leather, then you'll need a blade, a cutting board and a cork-backed ruler. You'll need some wing dividers, you'll then need stitching chisels and a rubber mallet or maul. You'll then need an edge beveler, you'll then need some sandpaper to finish the edges. I'm going to use toconol and a wood slicker, but there are other options like gum tragacanth. Maybe I'll do a deep dive into the difference between gum tragacanth and toconol in the future. Drop a comment down below if you'd like to see that. You're then going to need some leather cement or eco cement. Then you'll need something to fasten it. I'm going to use a button stud today, but you can also swap this out for a snap or some other fastener. And then finally, you'll also need some thread and some needles.
About fasteners, so I'm going to use the rivet for this. And I like to always have the flexibility to be able to swap it out if I want to, but this will only work if you set it the right way. So what I want to do is put the post through on the inside face and then the cap on the outside face exposed, so if I ever need to, I can replace it. So the next step is to find the corresponding location on the other side of the piece of leather where you want to have your other fastener hole. And I'm going to use a button stud. It's honestly one of my favorite fasteners, and I did a whole video on the complete history of the button stud and everything you need to know to set them properly. Next, I'm going to always do a little bit of personalization, and for me that is my contour logo stamp in the top right hand corner. Right, back to that solution. So I'm going to use an extra piece of leather on the inside just to add some thickness and make sure it fits around my axe head. So if you're interested, I did a whole video on the science behind why you need to let cement get tacky before you put the two sides together. So I can now start to assemble the other pieces that will make up my axe sheath, nicely pushing them together to get some contact on those areas. So the next step is to prepare for some stitching. So using my wing dividers, I'm going to score a nice line. I typically do 1/8 of an inch or approximately 3.2 millimeters. Now this is super thick to be stitching through, so be careful with your chisel angle. I got that a little bit off. So what helped for me was to plug the gap with leather so that the outside pieces weren't bending in. I'm going to use a cross stitch on the outside of this leather sheath because it's my favorite stitch, but you got to make sure you burnish and bevel before you do that stitching. Okay, so for the cross stitch, what I like to do is measure out about 15 times the length of the stitch line to make sure that I have ample stitch and I'm not going to run out. You can see that I'm leaving an extra little loop here and not going the full way through. Now what that does is allows me to make sure that when I'm putting my second needle through the hole that I don't stitch through the other thread. This is a really common thing to happen, and I found that leaving this little loop allows me just to tug it a little bit and make sure that the needle isn't through the thread. So just continuing and stitching the full length of this sheath. Now because the edge of the sheath here is going to open up every time you put the axe in and out, what I think would actually be better is for me to do a little bit of a reinforcement stitch. So I'm going to go back in and loop it through a couple times just to add a bit of security. So the next step is to finish up the axe sheath and get it looking nice and crisp. Now I attached the strap to one side right at the beginning, but I purposefully didn't make any holes into the strap to attach the button stud because I wanted to make sure that I got the perfect length for that strap, and I had to wait until the end for that. So this is the full veg tan custom axe sheath build. Now I'm really happy with the way that this came out. It's going to age beautifully. It's got a really nice raw beige veg tan. The cross stitching goes all the way around the edge. I think it adds a really nice decorative look. And projects like this are just so rewarding because you take them from start to finish with no pattern at all.
So if you liked this video, you may enjoy one of my others. This channel is focused on helping beginners get into leathercraft and teaching experts a new skill they may not know. Thanks so much for watching.